Hello, everyone. We're a little late, but we're here. So trick or treat. Happy Wantrepreneur Wednesday. So if you're just chiming in for the first time, my name is Patricia Cimino. I'm a certified life coach, and I help women wantrepreneurs become entrepreneurs. So if you've been watching my mini series, Wantrepreneur Wednesday, every week I highlight a different woman entrepreneur. And if you feel inspired as you watch this, but you're just not sure how to start your journey of entrepreneurship, I'd love to invite you to a mini session. So you can just reach out to me here on Facebook with a message, and we'll set up some time to chat. But for today, I want to share with you a very, very special guest of mine. She's special because she's not only my guest, but she's also my client. And she's also one of my first coaching clients that I had years ago. And she's manifested what all the hard work she was doing with the work that we did together and making her dream come true. And I am going to let her share her story. If you are jumping on live, feel free to leave a question or a comment in the comment box. If you feel inspired by this interview, throw some hearts. If you're watching it in replay, which a lot of people do later on in the day, and there's something in this conversation that resonates with you or that makes you feel inspired, just hit or type in replay inspired. That gives me just some awareness to the level the people I'm reaching, and it's just awesome to see that it's having an impact, these conversations, and it's showing people what is possible. So let me introduce to you my guest today, Dina Kartsonas. Dina is an occupational therapist, and she has recently become co-partner in a business. So Dina, welcome to the broadcast.
Hi, Patty.
I'm so happy to have you here. I just love your journey and your story. You're always so passionate about what you do, your work. And I want you to share that with the audience, who you are, what your business is, and who it is that you serve.
Okay, so I'll start off. First of all, thank you, Patty, for inviting me. This is really such an honor. So I started off. I'm an occupational therapist, as you had mentioned, and when I was working in a inpatient rehabilitation facility with my patients, I realized that so many of these patients that are coming in here, what do they do when they're done, going through the whole rehab, course of therapy and that, and then I realized also that a lot of them were coming in because they were falling. So I thought, gosh, where do these people go? And wouldn't it be neat if they had a place to go that would be safe, where they could, be shown, proper balance training and exercises to keep them active and, living their life to their fullest after they're done with therapy. So I decided to start up a small, just one man show, which is me, called Well Fit Group Fitness. And at the time, it was going to be just, doing what we call more, or do what I call more post recovery group fitness exercise classes and primarily it's for seniors. And when I initially came up with the idea, presenting it to friends and family was interesting, because I got a lot of different, I got positive feedback. The majority was positive, right? That it's a great thing. But then you get a few of those people that are going to be, instilling a little bit of doubt and, maybe was it a little bit of fear, and I just remember quickly telling myself, okay, I'm never going to tell them again about my idea. And then luckily, having Patty, and I was so fortunate because um, you are the reason why I moved really forward with it. I'll be honest, that's truly, you were such a tremendous part of this, why I'm here and I'm able to interview with you. So you kind of helped me walk through some of those concerns and kind of what was stopping you. And it's interesting, like that self-talk. And then I'll never forget you asking me, well, Dina, if this was completely successful, what would it look like? And so it was really interesting. I had never taken it to that level. I just kind of conceptualized in my head like this concept, this idea. But you really made it for me very organic, and really thinking through like lighting, people, who's there, what's the energy vibe, and all that. And it was like, and so I just kept going back to that. And so it was wonderful, because my first attempt at pursuing my company was starting off in the Park District, in Naperville Park District, and teaching the seniors. And so I started off just teaching one class, and then I think it started taking off, where seniors were kind of like, whoa, this is really neat. And so I was getting all levels. I was getting very independent, highly functioning seniors that are community dwelling and active. And then I was getting people coming in with their walkers or with their assistive walking devices. And so it was really neat to see that I could make this very broad for for this population, this age. And so then it ended up sort of booming, where we were getting a wait list, and it was just so neat. And the Park District was like, well, can you start offering more classes? And so then it became something that, like, wait, I guess I'm onto something here. And so that just really sort of helped me complete moving forward. And so then I started also teaching at a friend. She's a good friend of mine who owns a physical therapy clinic. Her name is Mary Ratchford, and she allowed me to use her space. And so I was really in that setting. I was really working more for the post recovery patients that had graduated from therapy, and was offering, again, these medically supervised group fitness classes geared towards helping them, be, active and independent. And so that then moving forward from that, just the exposure of doing it at the Park District, and then also doing it in the physical therapy clinic. I also offered these health and wellness forums that was to try to help empower them with other means of managing a lot of their health issues. Because as they would age, as we all age, you start running into certain physical conditions that can really impact them on living life to their fullest. So I was bringing expert speakers on various topics, and interestingly, you were one of them, which was so great, because it was so full circle on positivity. And that in particular was just helping them how mindset really can affect your body and just your well-being. And that was, again, a great turnout. We had a full house with you there, Patty. But it just shows you, I mean, it was just wonderful to have that opportunity to see it all come full circle, right? And so the clients that would come to my exercise classes were then coming to my health forums, and then we ended up sort of developing this sense of community. And it's just been so rewarding. And then it opened a door that I never ever would have expected. And so this is just funny how life works that way. But Mary Ratchford, who owned the clinic, it's called Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, then approached me and said, Dina, you have been so influential in our business here. And, we're getting people coming here that had never known that we existed. And you're just such an advocate for what we do. And so she asked me to be a partner, which was like, what? Oh my gosh. So,
But
so
a perfect fit.
it
A
was such a
perfect
perfect
fit.
fit, and I never expected that door to ever open, but you never know. And here it is. Here I am now, a partner to Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, and it has been one of the best decisions I've ever done. And I just am so delighted, because it all stemmed off of my original concept of, my Well Fit Group Fitness is the name of my company, and offering these exercise classes, and now being a partner to a physical therapy clinic here in Naperville.
That's awesome. So here, one thing I want the audience to know is that, especially women out there to know who think, well, uh, who, while she was doing these exercise classes, she was still carrying her job as an OT. She was still doing that. She
Yeah.
was, you were doing that in combination. So a lot of times, we use excuses like time or energy that we don't, can't do it. But if you really, really want something, you will find a way in your schedule to
Right.
do it. You just will. And that is what she did. And what's so ironic is those visualization exercises we did so many years ago, you had described an environment which is exactly like, it's almost freaky, but it's like exactly like where you're at right now. This atrium of greenery when you walk in, and just everything about it is just crazy. When you put your mind to something,
yeah,
your mind starts to go towards it. That's all there is to it, right? I mean,
totally.
so Dina, I want you to share with everyone, and I mentioned this a lot in these interviews, as an entrepreneur, I mean, there is usually a big reason why you do what you do. Otherwise, you would just be working for someone else for the rest of your life. Right. So what was your big why around branching off and like starting with these exercise classes? Like, why did you want to do something independent? Like, why didn't you just do it in the clinics and the hospitals that you were working in? Why didn't you, what's your why?
My why is, I truly love working with the senior population.
You
And
guys, she does. I've never seen anyone so enthusiastic to work with. Yes, you do with the senior
so
population as you.
yeah,
Yes.
I feel that they are, it's a definitely an underserved population that, because of all these baby boomers, we're going to be seeing more of. And I thought, you know, I truly, it comes from a very genuine place of serving, a population that I really, really love. I don't think I would have been able to do this otherwise. And my husband would tease me too. He would say, so, what you mean you're gonna do this hobby, and like, is this gonna make us money? Like, what is this? And I would just tell him, well, I'm just doing this for fun. And clearly I am, because I'm very excited about it. And and I think it's contagious, because I've just now just see the sort of the energy that in the classes, the people, they look forward to it. It's really just upbeat and fun. And they'll come and they'll tell me testimonials of, since starting the class, I think that's what keeps me going, right? That, okay, I'm doing the right thing here. Because you need sometimes a little, like, a cue to help you, like, is this really making a difference? Well, it is, absolutely. And it's like I got immediate feedback to just keep me with this momentum of moving forward with it. Like, yeah, I'm doing a good thing, because I know that maybe sometimes people might, venture into something wondering, like, is this really worth it? And just getting them coming and telling me, Dina, you have no idea. I can, I'm able to, to travel now. I'm planning a trip now to Portugal, or, I never would have thought to do that in my 80s. And I'm like, wow, that's so great,
But I think the more important thing, and you hit on, is the fact that you have a passion to serve this community of
Yes.
people, that you really have an authentic passion to serve them. I was just speaking with someone earlier today who had a business, and I was asking her how it went, and she said, I just didn't have the energy for it, if I was younger. And I said, but wait a minute, she's really into fitness and she loves teaching fitness. And she said to me, I said, you're teaching fitness. That takes a lot of energy. You just didn't have the passion for it. She said, you're absolutely right. I did not.
Yeah.
So I think your passion is what keeps you, even in those times when nobody's saying, hey, Dina, when you're getting no confirmation from everyone else, you still feel fulfilled after you do that class with them and see them. As an entrepreneur, okay, you've always worked for someone else. What has been the biggest challenge to you working for you? Like, I know you have a partner, but like working for the two of you, right? So
Yeah.
what has been your biggest challenge from that, going from working for a clinic or a hospital to working for yourself?
The challenge is you are no longer relying on, the big guy up above to kind of tell you, what you can and can't do. I think the challenge is now for me really getting, I'm sort of the face of the business, and recognizing that now falls on me, and I'm actually excited about it now, because I was never really intimidated, because I think I'm not going out in a pretentious way. I'm trying to be really authentic. And so I think for me, that's what's exciting, because I think that's why people are receptive to it, because they're sensing the sincerity. You know what I mean?
Well,
Um,
what's been the biggest challenge, like going from
oh,
working for someone else to working for yourself?
I think the work life balance now is definitely what's challenging, because I have 4 kids. I'm a
Forgot to
military
mention
spouse.
that. Yes.
I'm a very proud military spouse. And I think trying to just manage, and then now I have, a father who also, he's suffering with his own, chronic illness here. And so it's called that sandwich generation, right? So trying to manage that and, have balance with work. And so now that to me has been a shift, because working in the past for, in the hospital setting, I was, part-time, very part-time, and had, I was, my focus was really just my family, right? And now I don't ever want to compromise that. That's my big thing. I keep doing these little self checks, like, am I compromising my family? I don't. That's where I still kind of have that, you know, um,
Challenge.
that challenge.
Yeah. So when life gets really hairy like that, where you have, your husband gone for his military duty and your, teenagers, which is a
Yeah.
whole handful, and your college daughter and your dad who's going through his own medical issues, health issues, what is your mindset? What do you tell yourself? What are your little check-in points? What are you saying to yourself?
Well, again, I kind of, go back to my, okay, what am I doing this for again? My why, right?
Mhm.
And so my check-in point is basically just, trying to be a little bit more, realistic, because I sometimes set like really big, like, I have my to-do list. This is kind of part of my daily ritual, is I kind of have my to-do list.
Mhm.
And am I trying to bite off more than I can chew? So sometimes I have to keep going back to that thing, and checking that list again, and being like, okay, on this list, what are my, like, top 3 that I absolutely, have to get done, so that I can, feel good about that I did something, and that I didn't shortchange. You know what I mean? So on the top 3, there's always going to be something that's work related, and then family related, and then self care related. I try to make sure that those 3 are my top priorities, and then the other things are bonus, right? So,
That's
um,
a check-in. That's great.
self-care could be just, uh taking my dog on a really fast power walk for like 15 minutes. If
Yeah.
I get him for that day, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I
It
get
takes you out of that.
out, then I'm like, all right, boy, that's really a super bonus. You know what I mean? But uh self-care is really key. That was something that I kind of, in the last year, I'd say, in the beginning, while I was trying to tweak this, uh I was kind of neglecting the self care, and then I started finding myself getting sloppy in everything else.
Interesting. So important, ladies. Really important. That is another thing that I help entrepreneurs with is self huge. And it's the first thing that gets dropped by the wayside when we're so thick in our business. Okay, so what advice would you give to another woman who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur? She's thinking about leaving that 9 to 5. She's thinking about leaving that setting, that structure to go out on her own. What would you advise her? How would you advise her?
You know, my advice is to definitely seek a coach.
Yes.
No,
In
that's
truth, yeah.
the key player, truly. Just because you need a soundboard that's, not going to be biased, maybe it's very helpful to have just somebody, because uh, that for me, it was very, very helpful, very key. Um, the advice would be making sure that you are passionate, like that passion that we talked about earlier, very passionate, that it's so much that you're willing to take some things off your table, off your list of things to do, to make room for that. And so it's really important to look at that sort of, take a good look at what is currently on your plate, and what are you willing to remove from that, so you can make room for this thing that you're really passionate about, right?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
What last question? What is the best advice the best mistake you've ever made? on this journey? Best mistake.
The best mistake. I know that one's a tough one. Wow. There's a lot of mistakes that I think I probably have done. But I don't know. I think half the time I'm always feeling like I'm kind of doing things wrong. So I'm always looking at it as like, okay, how can I learn and keep moving forward? Not letting myself like stay down. I'd say the best mistake was maybe initially when I had this concept, I kind of was always, I would get overwhelmed of thinking very big, like offering multiple classes, trying to do, 5 days a week. And then I think I had to scale it down, and scaling it down, in my opinion, at first was like, oh, this is a mistake, just doing it one day, offering one day at a week. But that was great because it gave me time to sort of adjust into like being an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? And
Yep. Yep.
and then it helped me then to sort of scale up. So I don't know if that considered a mistake or what, but I'm trying to think here. What else would be another
No, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That's really good.
sense of just trying to you know you get overwhelmed with sometimes thinking thinking it really big, and then I think for me just that was what was a mistake, but interestingly it's helped me then reevaluate to go small, and now I'm actually where I thought big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very, very cool. Okay, so Dina, tell my audience where they can find you, where they can find your location, and any upcoming events that you might have. And for any of you viewers, if you think of someone in your life, a parent that might benefit from her classes, share where you're at, Dina, both
So
online and offline.
so online you could definitely find us. We are at Physical. It's called Fyzical, spelled with an Fyzical, Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, and we're in Naperville. And if they want, they can certainly look us up online. We have a website. It's www.napervillept.com. And we are on Facebook. So if you look up Physical, because there are franchises, look up for the one located in Naperville. And we are doing daily posts and anything health and wellness related. We offer monthly forums. Fantastic. They're free to the community. And it's various topics from music therapy to forest therapy to positivity. Our next series right now, we're doing it on the broken brain, which is following Dr. Mark Hyman. He's a functional medicine practitioner, and it's it's a docu series. And so each month, we cover just kind of the latest topics that are health related. Again, trying to empower people on their own well-being. And we are on Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying to think here. And
And where are you? Where's the bricks and mortar located? You're off of Ogden, right?
Ogden. So we're at 1240 Iroquois Avenue, and we're Suite 400. We're located just a little west of Ogden and Naper Boulevard. And then yeah, and then we do some fairs, health and wellness fairs. We just did this coming weekend. If any of you are in the Warrenville area, we'll be doing a pickleball. There's a pickleball tournament that we'll be having a booth at, so feel free to stop by for that.
I've never heard of pickleball.
It's so good for your mind. They're saying that it's one of the anti-aging sports.
Pickleball?
Absolutely.
Wow, what is it?
So it's a cross between sort of ping pong and tennis, and you're playing it on a smaller court than a tennis court.
Wow.
And these paddles with a wiffle ball, and it's awesome. And I've started playing. I'm addicted. I'll be honest, I'm probably one of the youngest people on the court. I'm among 70 and 80-year-olds that totally kick my butt, and it's awesome. It's one of like the hottest sports right now, and that's something that like Dr. Amen, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a functional medicine practitioner. They're starting to say that racket sports are like probably one of the best anti-aging sports because it's a lot of eye-hand coordination.
Wow.
It's agility, and it's just awesome. So yeah, so
Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Dina. Thank you for taking time out on your Wednesday to come to my interview series. And to everyone who took time out to listen to this today, I hope you found inspiration from Dina's journey. As I mentioned before, if you are, you were inspired by this, and some things are resonating, and you just don't know the hows of it, reach out to me for a mini session. I'd be happy to speak with you. Until next week, make it a great Wednesday. Thank you. Bye, Dina.
yeah.